For ACUSports.com, I'm Grant Boone as we talk some Wildcat football. The season finale is Saturday at Stephen F. Austin. We've got the coach, Ken Collums, and we've got sophomore place kicker, Nik Grau. Nick, let's start with you. What a crazy season. I mean, you've had a couple of close losses, some amazing close wins, some big wins. As you look back at 2014, what will you remember it for?
More towards the beginning of the season when we played those two FBS teams and just kind of took them to them and almost got the win at Georgia State and then took the win at Troy. And throughout the season, we've improved a lot, kind of just as a team and as a family. And we had a lot to learn this season, being the first time in the Southland Conference. So it's kind of taught us a lot, and we've learned a lot.
11 games for you this year. You've only missed 3 kicks. They all came in one game. You've had another remarkable. You've missed 4 field goals in your entire career at ACU. And I thought the one you had Saturday was one of the toughest. You're kicking directly into at least a 20-mile-an-hour wind. How hard was Saturday? And what is the toughest wind to kick into or with?
I guess it's kind of different. A crosswind is probably my worst fear. Is like whenever you get that Abilene crosswind and you're just like, oh, well, hey. But at the game, I knew it was a strong wind. It was kind of chilly. And all I could think was like, all right, we'll put this right down the middle and give it just enough to where it's going to get through there. So that's kind of what I did.
Yeah, and you nailed it. You had plenty of room to spare, in fact. Thinking about this coming Saturday, I don't know if you've seen the forecast. It looks like a chance of rain and again, chilly. Is the cold the hardest weather to kick in?
Hard in the sense that you go out there, you do a kick, and there's no telling when you're going to kick again. Kind of like last week, I think I went through the whole half with only doing one kick or anything at all. And so just kind of staying warm on the sideline and just like not knowing, I always got to be ready and all that. So cold does kind of play a really hard part on it, but I'm going to be bundled up and warm.
Well, maybe your best kick in almost 2 years at ACU went 11 yards. It was the opening kickoff on Saturday, a beautifully executed onside kick. When did you know you guys were going to do it? And take me through the actual kicking of it, because it couldn't have been done any better.
Coach Collins has been saying, like, we're going to run this, and he keeps coming up to me, and he's like, we're going to do this, because I like this a lot. And I was like, all right, whenever you want to. And then when I saw they did the coin toss, I was like, oh, we have the win. All right, I'll just kick it out of the back of the end zone. Well, then Coach Ribb was like, we're doing the surprise onside. And I was like, all right, opening kickoff.
That's one they call the middle dribble, right?
Yeah, you just kind of a little over in, and it pops up at the 10. So we went out, and I was like, man, these guys, kind of like the fake field goal at Troy's, like, these guys have no idea what's coming to them. So I hit it. It started rolling. It popped up right where I wanted to, and I was just about to grab on it, and then Nick Richardson just pushes me off of it.
Don't you hate when he does that?
I was like, oh, no, the ball's right there. And I saw it bobbing around, and, like, just coming from experience and fumbles, like, they always pop out. Yeah. The first guy never gets it. So I see that thing just pop out, and then me and another guy jump onto it, and it's our ball.
There you go. All right, let's talk to your coach here. Hey, I mean, that was a thing of beauty, wasn't it, what he did?
It was awesome, and he practices it all the time. He's a soccer guy. He can make the ball dance and pretty much do whatever he wants. And I've been wanting to do that for a while, and I guess I hadn't had enough guts to do it. And finally, you know what? It's our last home game, so let's give it a shot.
Hey, you told me before the season started, you said, forget what kind of kicker he is. We know that he's great at that. You said he's one of our best football players, period. He's made some tackles. Now, you don't want him making tackles, because if he's making tackles, it means that somebody's has gotten way too far downfield. But we saw it against Central Arkansas. He planted somebody on a kick return.
Yeah, we don't design things where he kicks it and then follows it up with a tackle. It's just sometimes when you're playing against good people, they do a good job with their scheme, and they'll get their return guy loose. And for the most part, when a return man has his hands on the ball, he is one of the other team's top players. And that's kind of spooky, but Nick is a good athlete. I mean, he's put on some weight. He looks almost like a linebacker now, so we're going to have to throw the brakes on that. So
he offered his services at linebacker a minute ago, by the way.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Yeah, I'm sure he did. But he's one of our best players. I've said that even before the season, and I'm very pleased with what Nick brings to our team. Just the person that he is. He's got a wonderful heart, great student athlete, and he's a really good kicker. And my only beef with him is that he missed all of his kicks in one game. I think he had the wrong shoes on the wrong feet or something. I'm not quite sure, but ever since that, I mean, he drills those kicks right down the middle, and he's a guy that's fun to watch him practice and interact with our guys.
Hey, you almost called. You're sorry you were right, but you really kind of called Saturday. You said if we don't play well, this is a team that can roll up big numbers on anybody. And Northwestern State, hey, they came in 4-5, but one of those 5 losses was to Baylor. They'd already beaten an FBS team in Louisiana Tech. I know you didn't play the way you wanted to play, but they at least had something to do with that. I mean, that's a good team that beat you the other day, isn't it?
Yeah, and every week in the Southland, you're going to face a team like that, at least as good as that, because they you don't luck up and beat Louisiana Tech and Sam Houston. You can't just do that. You have to have a quality program, and you got to have guys that make plays. But the fact is if we don't play well every single week, there's a good chance we won't win. But on the other side of that coin is if we play well for 4 quarters every single week, we'll have a chance to win at the end of the game. I fully believe that. We've done that this year, and we've played well at times for 3.5 quarters and didn't win the game. So all this season has done so far is just affirm in my mind and then in my players' minds that, we belong here. This thing's going to be right. This thing, it may be where we want it sooner than anybody knows. That's the fun part of it. But, we're growing. Growing is tough. Learning and maturing in your position and where you are and your niche in our conference, it's a tough deal to figure out. But we're doing it. We're in a great spot.
And it gets tougher this week as you wrap up the season. You get Stephen F. Austin there in the Piney Woods over in Nacogdoches. They've got 2 of the best wins of any team in the conference. In fact, I don't think personally there's a team that has 2 wins as quality as their 2. They knocked off Southeastern Louisiana, which snapped the Lions' 14-game conference winning streak. And they also beat McNeese State last week. Your old boss, Clint Conk, who was 14 years at Central Arkansas, including when you were there as an assistant, he's now in his first year at Stephen F., and he's got one of the best running backs in the country in FCS in Gus Johnson, and he's got some things going, doesn't he? They still have a chance to win the conference.
Yeah, my old boss is doing pretty good down there. He's a good coach. I was fortunate enough to work for him way back in 2000 for 5 years, and he's very organized, very great manager, knows what he's doing, knows the game of football, knows people. I learned a lot of football under him, and he knows how to grow a program. I had the opportunity to help him grow, UCA into kind of what it is now. I had a small part in that, but so he knows about growing and getting and providing a situation where you can grow your people into what you want. And fact is, their running back can go. Gus is going to get the ball and probably a lot. And problem is everybody knows that, and they still can't tackle him. I mean, he's having a great year, one of the best years, in the conference ever. And he protects the ball, so it's going to be tough to poke that thing out. But our thing is we got to compress those running lanes and run to the ball, make him bounce, so Angel and Justin can come up and make tackles. And they got their quarterback, Zach Conk, is.
Coach's kid.
That's exactly.
You knew him when he was 5 years old, running around Conway, didn't you?
Yes, I did. He's probably 6'5", 6'6". He was our ball boy, and going through our little kids camps. And I used to be pretty mean to him. And I'm gonna have. I hope he doesn't take it out on me on Saturday. But no, great guy. Just unbelievable situation there. Just being able to play for your dad. That's really neat deal. But we've got he's grown into a guy who is really managing their offense. He's always been able to run. He's run for a lot of touchdowns this year, but he's starting to be really efficient with throwing the ball. And so I'm sure Clint's proud of him, and not because only he's his quarterback, he's his son, just to watch him progress. But we're going to have to do a good job defensively, to slow those guys down because they can score. They're gonna get after us as far as our quarterback. Parker McKenzie will catch heat on Saturday. They pressure every quarterback they face. It doesn't matter which team you turn on a video. Those D linemen are all over him. And so we've got to do a good job of getting the ball out, creating situations to where when we try to throw the ball down the field where we are protecting him. So we go in and we protect the ball like we're supposed to, not like we didn't do last weekend, but we protect the ball and we slow down their run game a little bit. We'll have a chance to win this thing.
All right. It's ACU and Stephen F. Austin Saturday in Nacogdoches, Texas. It's the season finale. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. Lance Fleming and I will have the pregame show at 2:30 here on the ACU Sports Network. For Nik Grau, sophomore kicker, and for the coach Ken Collums, I'm Grant Boone.